Hello,
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Elazar, Chag Sameach, Elazar.
You too. All the best to you.
Nun Ches, 58. Rab Meir said that when a Kohen gives Kiddushin to a Grusha, it already apostles her. Even that means even without Nesuin, we said that the various relationships that apostle will work even with Kiddushin only. So Chopanami apostle. So Chopa would also, and Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon, Dami Kiddushin lo apostle. Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon said no. Just giving one of these women Kiddushin doesn't apostle her unless there's Bia. So Chopanami lo apostle. Maybe we'll say, Lezer, you got to turn it off.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry.
Maybe we'll say that the machlokes is this machlokes tanoi? More says no. Dilmat kan like come Rab Meir Hasam el Kiddushin the Kani law.
Could you cut me off? You put me on, because I can't do it from here. Can you put me on
You got to mute yourself.
I know I can't do it for some reason. It says you got to do it. All right, wait a second. I'll get close to the door. I don't want. All of a sudden, those cold people come in.
So Kiddushin is koine, but chuppah the loy kana law maybe low. So maybe it would not work according to Rab Meir. Inami ad kan like come Rab Lezer Rab Shimon also maybe Kiddushin the lo krivi lebia. Kiddushin doesn't lead to bia, but chuppah the krivi lebia, which leads to bia chanami the apostle. Maybe they would agree that it apostles. So you're trying to find an earlier machlokes tanoim. It's possibly the following: Nisu zu v'zu, ksheros upsulos. You have women that are kosher to a coin, women that are puzzled to a coin. O shenichnasu lechuppah v'lo nivalu. Without nesuin, they just went at a chuppah. Oichlois mishaloi v'oichlois betruma. They can still eat truma, even if they're psulos. Now, nichnasu under the chuppah michlal de nisu mamish. Does that mean that they have bia? No, it can't be. Elalav kigon shenichnasu lechuppah v'lo nivalu. It's got to be a case that they went under the chuppah without bia. Uktani oichlos mishalov oichlos betruma, even psulos. So that's the Tanakama. And Rabbi Shmuel ben Yosh, Rabbi Yechim ben Broka, kol should be yasa machilasa. If the bia between this kohen and this woman will cause her to eat truma chupasa machilasa, the chuppah alone will do it too. Kol she'ein biyasa machilasa, ein chupasa machilasa. So a kohen who marries a grusha, he cannot cause the grusha woman to eat a truma, so even putting under the chuppah will be the same thing. So mimai, it's not necessarily the same machlokes. Dilma Rabbi Shmuel ben Yosh, Rabbi Yechim ben Rab Meir spherely. The Amar Kiddushin lo yachlu. Maybe he just holds like Rab Meir that with Kiddushin alone, women don't eat. More says that doesn't make sense because kol shein biyasa machilasa and chupasa machilasa. It should say kol shein biyasa machilasa and kaspa machilasa, because kesef referred to Kiddushin. So the Gemara says, Dilmi, I did Amar Tana Kama Chuppah, Amar Ayihu Nami Chuppah. But it's lav dafka that he was talking about Chuppah. He could have been talking about Kiddushin as well. Amr Rav Amr. Ha Mil Samarlan Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes told us this vort, Vanarina line in Masisen, and he enlightened our eyes from the Mishnah. Yesh Chuppah L'Psulos. That just putting a grusha under the Chuppah, forget about a grusha, let's say, any of the women that would get puzzled through bia, putting them under the chuppah will do the same thing. B'tanatuna amen shalos satiti arusa unesua shemer yova neknusa. when a husband warns his wife not to sequester with another man, and she does with Adim, then the husband takes her to the base of English to drink the sota water. We make her take a shvuah, and she says, yes, amen, that I did not engage in adultery as an arusa, as an asua, as a shomeres yovim, as a kenusa. Now, what do we mean by hay arusa hechidami? Arusa, that means he gave her kiddushin, and then he warned her then, the kamashka lokashi arusa bas mashtiyahi. You can't take a woman with kiddushin, it's got to the sota process. It's got to have nesuin. V'adnan arusa v'shemer siyavim, a woman lady in waiting after Reuven dies and falls to Shimon, lo shosos v'lo nolos ksuba. They don't drink the sota if their husband warned them, and they don't get their ksuba. El zakani lo kashi arusa, the istatra. He warned her when she was a kiddushin, and she sequestered. But kamashka lo kashi, and he married her, and had bia, and then he took her up. The Gemara says that wouldn't work. Mibar kilomai vatanya v'nikaha ishme avon, bizman sha'ish menukame avon. When the husband is free of all sin, then the water works. And if he slept with the woman after she was sequestered, he's not allowed to do so. So the mayim wouldn't work on her in that case. Must be the kanilo kashi arusa. He warned her when there was only kiddushin. The istatra, then she sequestered. And we're talking about that he didn't do bia. Only nichnas l'chuppah v'lo nivala, and yet it triggers the process as if there was bia, right? Shema mino yesh chuppah l'psulos. Chuppah will create the relationship even without bia. And even though this is a chuppah that's not going to bring to bia because he's usher to live with her because she was already sequestered. You think that's a teretz? Also, he brought a mishnah. It says, Mi baladei ishech, mi shekad mashchivas ba'alaboyel. The case of sota only can work if the husband had relations with the woman first. But you're describing a case where there was kiddushin, then she sequestered, and that can't be a case of sota. No, it could work. He had relations with her after kiddushin in her father's house. So you're going to say the kavosa gabi shemer yavim shabala yavim beves chamia? Are you going to say that the Ruvain had relations with the girl in the father-in-law's house? Shemer yavim karisle? She wouldn't be a called shemer yavim if he had bia with her. Ishtamayi. He acquired her for a wife if it was a yibum situation. The ha'amarav kana lakol. That when if a man has bia, it doesn't make a difference what kind of bia. It's going to acquire completely.
Didn't we learn before that a kedushin alone makes a full-fledged wife?
No.
Without her sleeping? We learned that before.
Don't need truma with kedushin.
No, not truma, but if she does have adultery.
It's a full-fledged wife for Eishes Ish.
Okay, so Eishes Ish.
But not to eat truma.
No, but okay, but Eishes Ish she is, and they both get misa, right?
Yes.
So the only thing Machogas was the truma here, right?
No, there's other things. Ksuba.
Ksuba,
with Nesuin. There's many differences between when you have Nesuin, a lot of all the mizonos, everything, the financial requirements, she's an Eishes. That's it.
In regard to if she's commits adultery, she gets misa.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an Eishes, but that's it, pretty much. Remember, he said it's only for Yerusha. It's not a complete wife, and not for Sota. Midu time el Rav. So it's only going to Rav, and Rav kana lakol, and he says chuppah acquires no matter what. The Gemara explains we're talking about. It wasn't just he did mimer. Beis Shammai, mimer koine kinyan gomer. According to Beis Shammai, mimer acquires completely. Hachi ainu arusa. That's the same as kiddushin. So ula tamech nesua knusa lavchad milsihi. Nesuin and knus are also the same thing. Means bia. Ela nesua didei. It's his bia. Knusa the chavri, meaning the woman who falls from a brother. Hachanami arusa didei v'shemer seven the chavri. Rav Papa Amar Hai Tanahu. It's the following Tanya, the Tanya. Ein mekanin lo larusa lashkoisa kashi arusa. There's no sota process when she's an arusa only. Aval mekanin lo so lashkoisa kashi nesua. It only can be done once she's in nesua. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Amar, ayadei gigul. No, you can, when nesuin happens, you can bring back the case that it happened by kiddush. You can bring magalgel the shvua back to what happened by kiddush. Shalach Rav Chanim Mishreid Rav Yechna. Ha'oiser mimer be vimto. He makes mimer. The yeshlo.
How does that work for? In other words, how does that work? Lamafreya is going back Lamafreya.
Yes, that means.
And you're punishing her with the Lamafreya.
If the husband brings her to the Beis Hamikdash because the sota process occurred after nesuin, he can add a shvu and say, you know what? Swear to me that you didn't do a problem after kiddushin either. That's called gilgul shvua. You can't do it lechatchila. You can do it only after nesuin, but once you bring her up there, you can add arusa back to it. You can make her swear that you were faithful during that period of time between kiddushin and nesuin. That's what it meant.
But nesuin is the one that closes the deal. So
no, meaning the Gemara now said a husband cannot bring her up.
Hold on a second. When
a sota until after nesuin.
Correct.
But we talked about kiddushin because he can be magalgel the shvua back to that once.
Yeah, but what happened? He married her, and he said, I remember that.
No. He married her. He married her. Then he warned her. Then he warned her, don't sequester with Chaim Yankel. And then he did that in front of Eidim. And then two Eidim come and saw her sequester with Chaim Yankel. At that point, he's not allowed to live with her anymore. Right. Unless she goes up with him to the Beis Hamikdash and they drink the sota water.
No, I understand that. But at
that time, let me finish. When they're up in the Beis Hamikdash and they take a shvua, he now says, not only do I want you to swear that you did not commit adultery in that room, but swear that you didn't commit adultery when you were in Arusa.
In other words, swear that you basically, she's making one shvua where she had hatra and she was sequestered and there were two Eidim and the whole thing happened, right? It was after Nisui. So why do you need to go back? Why would you even need to go back to between Kiddushin and Nesuin?
I'll tell you why. Because maybe, in fact, when she after Nesuin, and when she sequestered herself with that guy, they didn't have Bia. So she would be prepared to drink the water. But now if he adds, I want you also to swear that from the time I gave you Kiddushin until we got married, you also were faithful. And maybe she wasn't. So maybe then she won't drink the water. The fact that he can be magalgal the shvua back to that case as well, Kiddushin, would have enough kamina and din.
Okay.
Shalach Rav Chanim Mishreid Rav Yechna. Ha'oisra maimer biyavinta v'yesh lo ach. He did mimer, and let's say these are Kohanim. Let's say she's a Kohenes who was eating truma in her father's house. Afilu hu kohen v'hi Kohenes pasla b'na truma. Until the brother who's a Kohen is Kohenes her and lives with her and makes him his wife, she can't eat truma. Why? Because another brother can come along and do mimer. That would make a later be a psula. So because he's only acquires her a little bit with mimer, because they don't hold kinyan gomer. So she's mishtameres lebia psula to the remaining brother. That's what the Gemara says. Lama. Now, to who is this applicable? Ilem Rab Meir. When does Rab, like Grusha to Koyin or Almana LaKoyin Gadol? These are cases which is Mishtameres Labia Psula Midoraisa. Now, Mimer is a rabbinic structure. And the fact that we say that it's Mishtameres Labia Psula, it's only rabbinic. So maybe Rab Meir, Rabbanah Miyamar, he would never say such a thing. El Rab Eliezer Rab Shimon, who had no problem with Kiddushin at all. Now, Hashta Mishtameres Labia Psula Doraisa Achla, right? There in Almana LaKoyin Gadol, we said that chuppah, they were Kiddushin, even though it would lead to a Bia Psula, they could still eat Truma. So the Rabbanim a boy, then certainly there would be no Shaila that the Rabbanim wouldn't create a problem for eating Truma. Elakiyos Ravin Amar also ba Maimer biyavimto. Someone who did Maimer. Divrei Kol Achla. Everybody holds that allows her to eat. Yeshlo ach halal. Now, let's say one of the brothers had become a halal. It found out that the one of the brothers came from a grusha, right? There were multiple mothers, but the same father. Yibum works with the same father. So maybe one of the brothers is a halal. So since she's oimeid, possibly for Maimer or Bia from this achalal, devrekol eina ochelas. There, everybody holds she wouldn't eat. Lo nechlekol shenos lo get. One of the brothers gave her a get. Rav Yochanan Amar ochelas, Reish Lakish eina ochelas. Rav Yochanan Amar ochelas fil Rab Meir. Even according to Rab Meir that normally says eina ochelas, hanimila mishtameres lo be a psul deraisa. That's if it's like an almana l'kohen gadol, the psul is deraisa. Al drabanan like Maimer or get achla. Reish Lakish Amar eina ochelas because I feel Rab Eliezer Rab Shimon Amar ochelas. They hold normally you eat hanimila yeshul achil b'malkom acher because the kohen could feed another wife who doesn't have any problem truma. Because the brothers are halal, can't feed anybody. Lo. Maybe person is megaresh a bas kohen. So she goes back to her father's house and eats truma. However, what if he remarries her? So then that would stop it. But choizeres paskamine. Once he's megarisher, kroivel beinosa. She's connected to her father's house and can eat truma through the father's koyach. Aval ha'agida be. By the Yavama who gave a get, they're still connected because the zika doesn't go away until chlitza. So therefore, since there's an achalal in the picture, it would passel her. Okay, we'll stop here.
Can the halal eat truma?
No.
Okay, so if he can eat truma, for certainly he can't give it to the wife.
Correct.
Shkoyach Ernie.
Sure.
Tomorrow 7:30 the daf, and then the shir of 8:00. Okay.
Tomorrow, Shachar is at 6:15.
Say it again. Chakra 6:15. Okay.
Yeah. They need you for Hallel, Ernie.
I'll be there.
Gonna say with a brocha?
Whatever the rabbi, whatever I'm in, he gives it to the shul. But we have to get him. Listen, Walter, I need your help.
Yeah, but this is recording. Can you stop the recording, please?
I'll call you.
Okay, bye. Yes, Tzaddik.
So this is what Ronnie Nagel was telling me there. He is bringing out on his own initiative, Ronnie, Rav Tzvi Rimon, right? He's going to be the next chief rabbi. He's wonderful, Mizrahi Rav.
Yeah.
With two religious Zionist farmers who are keeping Shemitah.
Mm.
And he arranged, they're visiting all the schools. They are visiting Yavna on Friday. This is, I don't know, 2 weeks from now. But he arranged with Young Israel of Century City, Beth Jacob, and Young Israel of North Beverly Hills, like where he comes and he meets with the Balabat and he gives a shir. And Ronnie reached out to Rabbi Einer and he blew him off.
What?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking. So tomorrow morning, you and I have to go to Rabbi Einer and say, what's going on? We want to let's have a shir with him. The guy's he's the biggest expert on Shemitah. We have to